Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever, whenever that you may be tuning in. This is Yonks, and this is another working group for Gitcoin Grants Round 20. And super excited. Our project has been approved for the climate rounds that is being facilitated by the Climate Coordination Network under the community rounds. And joined with me here, we've got Mrs. Yonks, my superpower, and also I am Lotus. Welcome. Good evening, ladies. So going
Good,
over here,
Good
go
evening,
ahead. I see.
everyone.
Yeah, thanks,
yeah, good,
Amy.
good to be here.
So over here we've got Notion, and this is where we coordinate. It's our knowledge base, and this is where we do a little bit of agenda. And this is something, don't have a big detailed list of agenda here. This is some things that we were wanting to do to just kind of get on the same page. And scrolling down to the agenda here, let me make this a little bit bigger here. So here's one of the opportunities, Karma Gap. And let me bring open that window. So Karma Gap is a tool, and I think it's an acronym. Let me actually see what it looks like over here just on their homepage. An integrated DAO toolkit to measure contributions and enhance governance. So this is one of the things that it appears is a pretty new thing that Gitcoin community is really leaning into. And I'll show you what that looks like as far as on our project page here. Let me actually do that right now. So you can find our project, and I've got a link at our project. It's at gg20.gigsgogreen.org. And then also, if you go to gigsgogreen.org or .com, it'll go to our link tree. And right here is a super easy link to find our project. So I'm opening up our project in another tab, and this is what we worked through here on our first two working groups, which was, well, you can see here, created April 16th. So that was 10 days ago today that we submitted, and that was the deadline for a guaranteed consideration into this round that we got approved for. So where Karma Gap comes into play, you can see the project details right here, and then milestone updates. So clicking on the milestone updates, and this is data provided via gap.karmahq.xyz. And going over here to this first tab in this browser window is our project. And I'm on the gigsgogreen.eth hot wallet here that we use for, and this is who owns this project on the Karma HQ portal. So looking at this is where we can add the milestones. And I think that might be under impact here. I'm newer to using this, but taking a look here. Let's see what we have on the impact tab. Might not be. Let me go back here. Oh, it's on the grants tab. So this is milestones and updates. Add a new milestone. So this is one of the things that I was wanting to do here tonight. And again, that's the what milestones do we want to include in Karma Gap? So my thoughts is like, let's actually get it to kind of line up over here on project details as far as, so here's the overview, core team, roadmap, go to market. So let me make this a little bit bigger for everybody on the live stream. So establish trust, build in public with radical transparency. That's absolutely what we're doing here. And one of the things that's pretty exciting is that I'm hoping that we are live streaming, and I don't know if it's actually working. I'll have to take a look at that. I'm looking at our Telegram channel, but I don't see anything in there. So I might have to see if that is, anyway, I'll take that offline. So establish organizational governance. And this is kind of an ongoing thing, so I don't know if we should really include a aspect in there. Methods for the cooperative ownership. So this is another thing that's kind of an ongoing that I don't know if it would be a solid. So one of the things that I absolutely think that we should include is demonstrate traction with crowdfunding on Kickstarter. So obviously we didn't make the target start date. So I think that we should just put on here a milestone of May of 2024 for launching Kickstarter campaign. So what is everybody else's thoughts on that?
Is the Kickstarter our number one priority before we do anything else?
From my perspective, it is because that's really where we're going to be onboarding new members into Tesla Black DAO. And that's one of the things, if we hadn't been doing Gitcoin Grants around 20 right now, would have been focusing on that. And as you know, Tyler, my Freedom Journal, my number one goal for the next 100 days that I started on, I think it was April 8th, is to personally onboard 100 members into Tesla Black DAO.
Yeah, then I think that we should focus it all on Kickstarter. If that's the priority, then that's what we need to do.
So one of the things too that we can do is post an update. I don't know if it'd be worthwhile. All of this stuff, from my perspective, is very experimental here. So maybe we should just post an update with our YouTube link talking about how that we're talking about Karma Gap here on this live stream, because that goes going back to our build in public with radical transparency. This is just additional evidence of that, because one of the things that we didn't really include any substantiation. I mean, this was a pretty brief paragraph here. And again, most of this stuff was copy and pasted from our HeroX Solvit. And one of the main differences between HeroX Solvit and this Gitcoin grant project is we weren't able to include any external links within our HeroX Solvit. Whereas here we could do that. We just didn't have enough time to add additional substantiation. So I'm going to actually take a look and just do that here real quick since we're post an update. So I'm going to just do some copy and paste stuff here. Title. We are discussing milestones that we want to include via a live stream. This fulfills our, I just do a carrier return here. This fulfills our copy and paste. Bold. And I don't know if there's an easy way to embed a video here. I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'm just going to put the YouTube link. YouTube live stream replay. Link. Post update. So this generates an on-chain transaction. And this is the fabulous thing about doing it on a L2 is it literally is 2 cents to do this. So here's an update that posted. I wonder how this reflects over here. Let me do a refresh on this. Milestone updates. See that's pretty cool. um, anyway, hats off to the devs here for that. So there's an update that we did, and the nice thing about that too is that creates a backlink on here on Gitcoin and also on KarmaGap to our YouTube video. And I know that Google loves the backlinks. So create a new milestone. Let's add a new milestone here. We're gonna call this let me see what the Kickstarter is that we're wanting to use. So, Kickstarter. Launch Kickstarter campaign. Let me see here. I'm gonna do a search in our Notion real quick. Kickstarter. Kickstarter.com. And we need a we've got a start and end date. Start date is optional, end date is not. So let's put this for May 21st and going out June 24th. So that puts a little over 30 days. Please provide a concise description of your objectives for this milestone. Goal: onboard 100 DAO co-op members into Tesla Black DAO. I don't know if we need to put anything else. I don't know if this is something that can be updated. Milestone update. I think that's good enough. Create milestone. Confirm. So this is now in pending. There. Okay, I'm gonna go over here and refresh this. I think it already showed up there without me even having to refresh it. So completed, pending. Cool. Well, that's pretty fabulous. This is a pretty cool tool. I like that. I can see why leaning into this tool. So is there anything else that we want to include? Let me go back to our project details here. Regulation crowdfunding. Do we want to put this as a milestone? Add a new milestone.
Yeah, I think we should. I mean, we can always get people on our email list, and the more stuff we've got going on, I think the better.
Create community ownership with regulation crowdfunding on Chainraise. I'm just going to copy and paste this and change the date here. We have a bullet. Start date. So we talked about 521. So should we go 528? Memorial Day weekend is here. And this is something that we'll need to assess. We might have to slide our Kickstarter. I think we should really, anyway, I'm gonna just put 528. And then end date is a year. Five 28, 2025. Twenty-eight. 28. Okay. Create milestone. All right, so we created an update and two milestones. Should we create one for our initial bylaws?
Yeah,
I know that we
definitely.
had some. What's that, Tyler?
Yeah, I think we should. And I also want to get the bylaws knocked out. I think we can probably do it tomorrow.
Okay. So let's
By the way, Amy, I know the bylaws were close to done, but we decided to rewrite them in plainer language. So I thought they were pretty plain before, but Jason thought might even be too much legalese. So we're going to try and plain language it even more to make it more accessible.
public benefit.
Is that on Google Doc? You want me to read over it? If I can understand it, it will be simple enough.
I'm not sure if I shared you the new version or not. I'll do that before we get off tonight, and I'll text you the links.
Okay.
So establish organizational governance, bylaws, finalize Colorado PBC's public benefit cooperatives version 1. End date. We don't need a start date here because that's an optional field. And what did we put for the date for the, because that's a prerequisite for 5/28/2024. So let's take a look at the calendar here, Tyler. We could take a look and see about getting them over to chain raise. So and this might be an opportunity to have another working group. We weren't necessarily planning on having another working group. And we can decide that offline. I'm gonna pick an end date here of, let's say 5/13, because that would give almost 2 weeks from, yeah, it'd give 2 weeks, and I'll put 5/14 to just give an easy 2 weeks from here to here. I'll just leave it 5/13. So I'm not going to put any descriptions on this. Say create milestone. Went over here on the pinning tab, milestone 2. Wonder if there's a way, this is me being a little OCD as far as the numbering here. Not that big of a deal. Okay, let's see what else we have in our details, project details. So we created a milestone here created an update for the radical transparency, created a milestone for organizational governance. I don't know if we really need to create any milestone on this. The cooperative ownership, created one for crowdfunding on Kickstarter, created one for equity regulation crowdfunding on Chainraise, token engineering. I think that's good enough for right now, because like this right here, like expand gig workers scope to include house hacking DAO. This will likely extend. I don't know when Gitcoin Grants round 20. I think that these grant rounds normally run on a quarterly basis, and we've already got here the milestone into June. So I'm okay with this. Is there anything else that we should add for our milestones or project updates?
I think we're doing so much every week. I don't know if do people get notified by email or text or whatever to do this, or I think we should update people as often as we're doing it for the 2 weeks.
I would say no. I don't think that there's any push mechanism, because yeah, so like my understanding is no, this is just more of a tool where people can see like if progress is being made, and this is one of the things that we need to be intentional about, creating our own communication mechanisms for people that want to and we've got Twitter, we've got Telegram, and we have other mechanisms of facilitating the conversation and keeping people up to date. And that's one of the things that we need to get substantially better at here in 2024. And that's one of the things that is we'll have more conversations about what do we want to communicate and how do we want to communicate that.
I think it's exciting.
So,
the last
go
time,
ahead.
or every time I give to a Kickstarter, it's always nice to see they've got tons of updates, that they're doing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kickstarter is a little different. This is a donation, and my speculation is that when people are donating, they have less expectations than a Kickstarter that's categorically rewards crowdfunding. So anyway, one of the
Sorry,
things.
I didn't mean Kickstarter. I actually meant GoFundMe, but yeah, no, I get your point.
Yeah. So I checked this box. What milestones do we want to include in Karma Gap? So we included that, talked about that. And I'm going to bring this other one open in a window with my own personal wallet here for our Gigs Go Green, because this is an opportunity where we can endorse the project and solicit endorsements for the project. So just taking a look over here on the grants. So this is where we can see the milestones and updates here. But and I'm not going to go through this right now, but this is an opportunity, like I said, that we can be intentional, and getting an endorsement from like ourselves, the project co-founders, is a little different than potentially getting an endorsement from, people that we're impacting with our projects. Like scrolling down here to the drivers, like how fabulous will it be as we onboard drivers and we start impacting them by creating more income for their families and creating more cooperative ownership through these synergistic cooperatives. So this is something that we can take offline, and this is something that I'm going to spend a little bit of time thinking about the endorsement that I want to create for this project. Because truth be told, and this is something that I've said and will continue to say, creating these models for myself, who has personally done over 12,000 trips since 2016 as an Uber and Lyft driver, and a good amount of those trips have been in a Tesla. And like out of the literally hundreds of thousands of miles that I've driven, none of the energy that I've consumed to provide those trips were from a renewable energy resource. And this is one of the things that I'm very excited about, the solar EV, where we're going to become a renewable energy cooperative, building out distributed energy resources. So I'm going to take that offline as far as that. And that's also something for you all to think about as far as if you want to create an endorsement as a co-founder of the campaign. So we talked a little bit about this, donating to the project here during the live stream. And as I was saying, was wanting to do a dedicated video on this, but here it is. We've already been live for over 3 days, but I've not done it yet. My thoughts is that we have other wallets within our ecosystem that could do a video, including doing a video from the Gigs Go Green project itself. I know that that's a little circular and redundant, and I don't think that it will get weighted as heavily, because one of the things that occurs behind the scene, and this is something, Amy, that I was alluding to, and you'll see how much better the user experience is if we go through this. So what are your thoughts? Should I do a side video later or get it done now?
I think you can do it another time if you want to dedicate, a more focused way of doing it. Because even just the passport, remember how you compared your score with Tyler? How can we do better? How can we have a higher score so we can get better matching funds? That should be addressed. May not be on this round, but if you can, that would be great, because we could do a AMA open, for our community to learn how to get a better score.
That's absolutely accurate. And my thoughts are on that is that I think that may be like a multi-part video opportunity. So I can do either one. I mean, we only have like 15 or 20 minutes left for our scheduled working group here. So I can skip over this if we want to, if you want me to.
If you have nothing else to do and you want to do your own personal donation, yeah, go ahead and do it. But bear in mind to make another separate one. That's all.
What are your thoughts, Tyler?
I think the question, if you have nothing else to do, would be wonderful. That would be like such an amazing problem if it's nothing to do.
Yeah, that's
so awesome.
If there's something else, then you can skip that part. But yeah.
No, for sure. Well, I mean, Jason, if you want to just knock those out tonight, just 5-minute videos each or whatever, I think it needs to get done tonight either way, because we're already into the round. So it's up to you, Jason, if you want to do it tonight on this video or tonight on a different video, but I would get done tonight.
Yeah, let me actually just go here real quick. And this is going to the GG20 that redirects over here. So I already have this project, as you can see, the check mark is added to cart. So I click on the little cart up here, and then it brings over the cart. And so this is pretty fabulous as far as like, here I put 10 USDC, and I don't have 10 USDC in my wallet right now. But let me even just show, like, because one of the things that we regularly talk about is how much that one USDC talks about. And so you were talking, Amy, about like I did some stuff with my passport the other day, and I don't know if you remember my screenshot, but it was literally $17, and now the $1 is $39.
Yeah, that's what what you call that, quadratic uh funding is. It's more of the community participation rather than the amount of money that you put in. So everybody that could put $1 will sound better for them than two people making $100 each.
Well, but what I was saying is that I did some stuff between, I don't know if you remember that screenshot that I shared, because when I did the
For your
screenshot the other
passport,
day,
for your
yeah.
passport. Yeah, that's what I wanted you to teach so we can get a better.
Okay. I well, yeah. What one of the things though was I staked 125 Gitcoin, and one Gitcoin right now is like $1.20. So like I bought, $150 worth of Gitcoin and staked it. But like I said, I like playing the long game. But the net effect of that was the $1 match that I did. The expected match was going to be $17, and now with the additional stuff that I did from a passport, it's now almost, I contribute $1, and it's now almost $40 match. So that almost 2x'd, and that was the main thing that I did. One of the other things that talking about doing is creating a Coinbase account. Like we don't have a Coinbase account right now, but that's something that I'll decide. So I'm gonna curb the donation right now, but I wasn't expecting to see this impact, because I was kind of thinking that it might be snapshot in time, but it looks like it's fairly real time, because that was literally just within the last 48 hours that I staked the Gitcoin that, more than 2x'd the estimated match here. So anyway, I'm going to get a screenshot of this and share this in our Signal group here, because like I said, that wasn't something that I was expecting to see this impact. So yeah, I can absolutely have another conversation or another video on the Gitcoin passport, and now I have some screenshot evidence to include as far as what the difference makes with the and this is all being done in the background. And that's one of the things, from what I understand, is this is a much more substantially better user experience than it has been in the past, but it's a very much a real-time thing. And like just going over here real quick to passport.gitcoin.co, let's see what I'll refresh my stamps. It probably has not changed since I was here the other day. So my unique humanity score is 45.73, and the current passing threshold is 20. I don't know what passing is, but there's some other opportunities. Like I said here, confirm your Coinbase account, which has a pretty high weighting, holonym, and some other things like participation. So we're talking about Gitcoin grants rounds. So one of the things that I haven't done in the past is participate in Gitcoin grant rounds. So you can see here that it's in a tiered mechanism. So I'm personally committing to contribute $100 on this Gitcoin grant round so that it'll bump me up. And then, I'll have the conversation with Tyler, depending on how things look between now and the next Gitcoin grant round, of potentially bumping that up quite a lot for the next one. But this is something that, again, love playing the long game here, and my belief and expectation with how that we're positioning gigs go green within the organization. Like, and this might be a good milestone now that I'm thinking about it, is I would be surprised if there's another Gitcoin Grants round by July the 1st. And we've talked about DUNAs, the Wyoming Decentralized Unincorporated Nonprofit Association. I think that we should add becoming a Wyoming DUNA on July 1st for Gigs Go Green. What are your thoughts, Tyler and Amy, on adding that as a milestone now?
I think anything that is relevant to what we're doing, like moving the needle forward, is a milestone for us.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So let me add a new milestone here. So create a legal wrapper for Gigs Go Green using Wyoming DUNA Act. And I'm going to put on here July 1st. The Wyoming DUNA Act goes into effect on July 1st, 2024. We intend to organize Gigs Go Green as a Wyoming DUNA on that date. So one of the other things too that has been talked a little bit about, and I don't know how much that you've been in the loop on those, talking about conversations, Amy, this is definitely something that I've had side conversations with Tyler about, is the opportunity. And I don't know, can 501c6 lobby? You know, Tyler?
I'm not sure. 501c6 is a professional association. I'm I'm thinking maybe because I'm pretty sure that that's like a teachers union or a whatever. I think that's a professional association, but I'm not sure if number one, I'm not sure if that's their designation, and number two, I don't know if they have a separate wing that actually does the lobbying. So I'd have to look into that.
So I was just looking here and I just did a Google search for can 501c6 organizations lobby. An organization that otherwise qualifies for exemption under Internal Revenue Code section 501c6 will not be disqualified merely because it engages in some political activity. In addition, the organization may engage in lobbying that is germane to accomplishing its exempt purpose without jeopardizing its exemption.
Yeah, I think that the big thing with all these professional or all these charitable and nonprofit designations is if your core business is something other than lobbying, then I don't know what the threshold is, but it's 51% of your activity or 75. I'm not sure how they define substantial. But anyway, I think we're not forming a lobbying organization, so I think we should be fine. And if we feel like we need to at some point, we could always spin up a different different legal entity and a different, structure.
So are you suggesting 501c6?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to do a little more research to
Well,
figure out
let's,
exactly what we need to do. So can we table that?
yeah, why don't we just do, I mean, because this doesn't lock us into anything. Why don't we just do a milestone, seek nonprofit under 501c4, 501c6? Does that sound good?
Yeah, that's fine.
So add a new milestone, seek non-profit status under IRS 501c4 or 501c6. And I'm gonna just put this at the end of July. And that'll give us like the entire month of July to really figure out what makes the most sense. And I'm not even gonna put any descriptions in here. Cool. Well, we added a couple more milestones now that I thought of it. So, and I'll take this offline. Take this offline. Perhaps see about enhancing Gitcoin passport score even higher. Okay, so Twitter Spaces to shill our project. So this is something, Amy, that I would absolutely love some help to see if there's some worthwhile Twitter Spaces to participate in. And I think that may be some of the reason that we've gotten some of the donations that we have here. I know that Kyler contributed through mrsyonks.eth. Some ETH, and that's one of the things that was pretty fabulous. I'm actually going to show this here real quick. Is I wasn't expecting the settlement to be instantaneous on the donations. It's not instantaneous on the matching, but here is our safe wallet. So here, and this is one of the things that we already like. As soon as the cart status is completed, the donated funds, and I guess the matching funds get contributed at the end of it. Not exactly sure what that looks like, but the 29.78 is pretty close to this, and this might have a little bit of variation just due to number go up, number go down on the ARB and the ETH. So that was exciting to see. That was an unexpected thing that saw occur here. So love that component here with doing transactions on chain. But anyway, going back to the bullet point or this item, Twitter Spaces to shill our project. So like going over here, looking at Twitter. Let me go there real quick. So let's do a search for, so here's the one, Let's Grow, and that's the, go ahead, Amy.
I'm gonna promote this to the groups I'm in Web3. So if we have like a formatted information and then the link to our donation, we could probably execute that really well. I don't know if you already post on LinkedIn or in any other social media about us looking for donations.
So I did, I can't remember if I reposted it, but one of the things that I did here, just looking at my own LinkedIn page, and I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger for everybody here. So one of the things that I did do on my LinkedIn page was created a support, and you can see right here, support our GG20 climate round. And then I have a link here that links to the gg20.gigsgogreen.org. And that's also something, and this is some feedback that I got off of one of the Twitter spaces, is have a link in your profile that makes it super easy for people to, and then I also, on my personal profile page, I have the Gigs Go Green tweet posted that's got this link, and I could probably create another pinned post that has like the link here, but I'll throw it in the Zoom chat. But it's also like, if you just go to gigsgogreen.org on our link tree, and you can go to gigsgogreen.com or .org, and then right here is the link to right there on the link tree. So trying to make it as easy as possible for people to directly find on the main social media channels, and like even the live stream that we're on here. Let me open that up here too, because so over here on the live stream, I created a support our project with the gg20.gigsgogreen.org link. And I need to see if there's something that we need to do. I'm going to thumbs up this here while I'm in here, but there might be something that need to do to get these links working. So discussing our donation page, which is gg20.gigsgogreen.org. And I think that might doesn't show up as a hyperlink in there either. So anyway, tried to make it as easy as possible for people to find the project page. So I'll take a look and see if there's a place that we can schedule this Let's Grow DAO. They're hosting on their Twitter space, like they've got a 24/7 and they've got a form over here that can fill out, but they've got an ongoing 24/7 broadcast going for the region movement. And I'm going to see if I can grab a slice of time on their calendar for talking about Gigs Go Green as well. So we're on the hour. Is there anything else that we need to talk about?
No, you're doing a great job. This is exciting. I love that we're already getting all these backers. I know it's not a ton of money, but it's exciting that people think our project's cool and interesting. And yeah.
Yes, and I was on the Climate Coordination Network Twitter space that they have. That's a weekly Twitter space, and one of the coordinators there with CCN was saying that he looked at our project and he described it as ambitious, and I think that we can all acknowledge that it's absolutely very ambitious. And
it is, but I think the biggest thing that, and I've been talking to a lot of Web3 founders and just other founders, and the biggest thing is that there's so much risk that isn't in our project related to the technology won't fail because we're buying cars that work. Like we're not trying to build a new prototype of a car from scratch. We're not trying to break a new protocol that people rent houses because people rent houses all the time. I mean, there's all kinds of things in our portfolio that aren't risky. And I had coffee with a friend the other day, and I described her offering, and she said, "Oh, I don't really understand blockchain, but can I still invest in that because I understand real estate, and that sounds super interesting." So it was this. I think we've got a bunch of different audiences that will get it in different ways. Not all of them will get it in all the ways, but this is exciting.
And the thing that I'm excited too on that is that we're not even attempting to build a competitor to Uber or Lyft. We're building something that's complementary to what they're doing. Because one of the things that we've recognized, as you know, Tyler, is it's a monumental battle to get the network effect that Uber and Lyft. And when you unpack like the minimum viable model to start demonstrating what we need to do, is it's literally 2 cars and 4 drivers, and then we can start proving out this model here through this cooperative ownership mechanism that we've created here. So I agree. The way that we're structuring this, the risk is minimized, and excited to.
Actually, let me take one step back. Since this is securities and we're live streaming, you are at risk. You're always at risk. You can lose all your money. Like that's my disclaimer. So anyway, I don't want to say to anybody it's not risky, but it's just
we haven't yet. This isn't like Gitcoin Grants. We're not soliciting securities here, so I can appreciate your disclaimer, but and we can talk about all of those like when our regulation crowdfunding is offering is live, but this is merely a donation that we're looking for where people are like, hey, that sounds like a cool project. And
I understand. I just you know what I mean. I just want people to know that anytime that they're in this project, in any capacity, because hopefully these people will come back with us when we are live later, and you know.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that we can work on getting better communication at, as far as like figuring out how to communicate, because that's something that we haven't been doing great yet, but we will get better at that in 2024 and beyond. But anyway, do you have any final thoughts for us here, Amy?
No, we're doing great. I was just gonna say, when we do Twitter Spaces with White Hat DAO, before we have a template for a disclaimer, and I'm gonna share it with you guys, and you can tweak it the way you wanted to tweak it.
That would be fabulous. Would appreciate that. I did host a Twitter space under the Gigs Go Green Twitter handle with Chris Carfi from Unlock Protocol. And that was a fun Twitter space. I don't know how much bandwidth going to have here for hosting more Twitter spaces, as Tyler and I are going to be journeying to Ohio for Content Entrepreneur Expo 2024 in Cleveland. So, and we've already had some side conversations about hosting an on-chain tacos event, not only one in Boulder next Tuesday, and this is something, Tyler, that we could potentially get better at. I think that there's still solid opportunity to do some stuff, as far as email communication, and that's something, as you know, we will get better at. But we're planning to host an on-chain tacos on Cinco de Mayo in Cleveland. So wanting to extend the Gigs Go Green conversation to Ohio, even though Ohio is not on our immediate expansion list, but we love fostering connections in cool places with cool people.
Absolutely. I'm planning on attending IRLs here in Memphis too, on blockchain, and sharing sharing with them what we're doing. So I'm really excited that we are finally having this put together in a way that we can explain it to other people.
Indeed, and we're just getting started on packaging it in a manner that we can explain it to other people. And that's one of the things that I'm working on getting better on, like an elevator pitch, but then also the opportunity for us to create a slide deck / webinar is really how that we're expecting to have people get it. And the people that we most want to get it are the gig workers, the Uber and Lyft drivers that we're architecting these cooperative ownership models for. But one of the things, just to plant a final seed for thought, Amy, I don't know if Tennessee has a blockchain council, but that's one of the things that I would encourage you to explore and see what that looks like. I know that we're having some side conversations here in Colorado, and we're hoping to connect with the founder of the Ohio Blockchain Council that's based in Columbus while we're out in Ohio here the first week of May. So I'd encourage you to look that up, because getting a respected blockchain council on a state-by-state basis is how that we can work to ensure that the legislation is on our side and favorable for what we're looking to do using blockchain technology.
Also, if we do certain posts and we start using the hashtag of Uber or Lyft drivers, Uber or Lyft, those things, when people do a search, it'll actually pop out in Google search. So we need to start doing that.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely a great idea. And two of the social media platforms that we don't have a presence on right now for Gigs Go Green is Facebook and Instagram. And that's one of the things that I want to get resolved, because those Facebook and Meta and like with the dip that Meta had, that was something that Tyler and I jumped on from a personal standpoint here. But that's a side conversation. But yeah, we need to We have an unlimited amount of opportunity to get better at the social stuff, and we can take those conversations offline.
Okay, if we're done, I want to wish everybody a good night.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us on this later than normal. I wouldn't say normal. We sometimes do some late working groups, but this one was one that I think was necessary, and I feel really good about adding the updates that we did to Karma Gap as far as some milestones, and looking forward to using that tool to provide more transparency within the ecosystem as far as stuff that we're doing and the direction that we're going in. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.